Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Leave It to Baker. Appreciate you checking out the channel. Been away for a week or so, kind of sick, but I'm better now. Thanks for checking in. This is another episode of that Hollywood Stories. So this one's going to be on background work. So I think it was probably mid-90s that I had seen an ad in the paper. We're talking before, internet here. An ad in the paper in the sports section for extras at the Oakland Coliseum for a movie called Angels in the Outfield. It was a remake. And I thought, this is really cool. I've kind of wanted to always be in a movie. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I thought I'd give it a shot. So I went down there, and it was on a specific day. You had to wear like a t-shirt, an Angels shirt or something red or whatever. Come to find out the cast was Christopher Lloyd, who I was like, from Back to the Future, I was like, oh my God, it's Christopher Lloyd. Tony Danza, Danny Glover. Actually, Matthew McConaughey was in this too, but Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who was a young kid at the time, was in this movie. Fast forward to a couple of years ago, when I was working at our theater, at the Writers Guild Theater, I got to know his aunt really well. She came in quite often. We always talked. Anyway, so I get out there, and they say, hey, we're going to have you seated in the seats. We're going to try to replicate the Angel Stadium in Anaheim. And I thought, okay, this is pretty cool. So I'm sitting there where I'm sitting, and I meet this guy, and I start talking to him, and we kind of become buddies for the day. And so we're talking, and then they do their scene where the two boys are coming down the stairs, and then they sit down in the front row, and then they're with this larger actor who has a cup of soda, and later on in post, I think the angel is inside it and splashes or something. I don't know, I can't remember. But anyway, in this scene, they come walking down, and I kind of watch them as they walk down, and then the camera's set up down there, and you can clearly see me. Well, the funny thing is towards the end of the day, the end of the shoot, after seeing all the actors and the camera work and the directors and the director and the AD and everybody, I was just starting to learn all this terminology, and I was like, this is really cool. I kind of like this business. The guy I'm sitting with says, hey, so you're going to be here tomorrow, right? And I looked at him and I said, no, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. Why? He said, you have to be. They have to do like reshoots. They gotta reshoot it. And I said, why would they reshoot it? They shot it all day. I mean, they shot the whole thing all day long. Why would they need to reshoot? Well, as it turns out, they asked, everybody's going to make sure they're here tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be here tomorrow. I knew I couldn't be because I had to work that next day. So I thought, I wonder what they're going to do with that. Come to find out when the film comes out, this is 1994, movie comes out. It was a good movie. I liked it. You see me come down, and you see me sit down in the bleachers, and then what they did was the next day, they realized that I wasn't there. So they got a woman to sit in front of where I was with a large hat, hiding the fact that Matt Baker was not there for the day. Oops. Yeah, I learned my lesson. That was fun, though. I really enjoyed that. And then the next background work that came up, and now, again, this is all in Northern California, was, I think it's Ang Lee's Hulk movie with Eric Bana and Jennifer Connelly, who, by the way, I did get this job. And I'm standing at the not the food court, what was it called? The craft service table. FedEx guys driving by, craft service table, and she's standing there. It's just her and me, and I never really realized how skinny actors were. You know, you see them on TV, you see them in the movies, you're like, oh, okay, they look fit. she was so skinny. It was unbelievable. I was like, oh my God, this girl's got to eat some cheeseburgers. So she's at the craft service table, and she's skinny, and she needs to eat food. So anyway, then I did get this part, and I was an Air Force lieutenant. So I'm dressed up in the Air Force, garb and whatnot. And I'm seated at this mess hall with a couple of other Air Force lieutenants. And we're just eating a meal at a mess hall. And Jennifer Connelly comes in and kind of scans the room. And you kind of see me off in the distance. Big whoop. It was a great day. I really enjoyed it. Her father in the film is played by Sam Elliott. Now, me and another actor, you kind of become buddies with some of these guys. You hang out with them all day and you get to know people. Anyway, me and this other guy, we're talking, and we thought we heard something. And so we're like, hey, let's go check that out. I don't think we were supposed to, but we did anyway. We walked out, and there's this open parking lot. And there's this one tall guy standing there in full military camo, and he's watching this helicopter. Now, there's no cameras filming this. And it's this huge Huey hog from like the Vietnam War. And it's the propeller had started up, and the wah, 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 wah. And we're just watching it. And I look over and I'm thinking, that's Sam Elliott. And he's watching it. And this helicopter just lifts off and takes off. And it was so loud, the wind was blowing. I hadn't experienced anything like that before. And I look at him, and he looks at me, and he goes, that was pretty badass, wasn't it? In his perfect Sam Elliott voice. I was like, yes, sir, that was pretty badass. I've never experienced that. That was awesome. He goes, yeah, I've been in a few films with some helicopters, and I'll tell you, it's a lot of fun. And we had a small conversation, me and Sam Elliott. It was cool. I enjoyed it. That was the extent of that day. The film was okay. I dug it. It was all right. The background work thing, you get set up when I moved to LA and I had set myself up with Central Casting, you get thrown out on a ton of jobs. Las Vegas was a show that I did with Josh Duhamel and Vanessa Marcil. By the way, I'm in this episode with Paul Anka, I think it was. And we're standing there at this roulette table, and I'm having this conversation with the guy next to me, but they're not really recording the audio. They're just getting the video portion of it. Anyway, between takes, she looks over at me. No shit, I'm not kidding you. She looks over at me. She goes, what's your name? I said, Matt. And she goes, I'm Vanessa. And I said, hi. Hi, total geek. And she's like, so Matt, do you like rich girls? And you've got these people looking at you. There's like all these different people. And I'm like, yeah, I guess. I didn't know what to say. I mean, was she just like having small talk with me? It was really weird. She's gorgeous, but it was weird. I didn't know what to do. But again, I've rambling here. I've been on a lot of stuff. So again, I've been on a lot of stuff. Las Vegas was one of them. Will and Grace. I actually had a conversation with, I'm blanking on his name right now. The main actor in the show. I'm going to put it below. And then you're going to go, dude, how can you not remember his name? Really nice guy. We chatted at the craft service table. Actually, I talk to a lot of people at craft service tables because they just show up and you're like, hey, how you doing? Hey, oh, blah, blah, blah. Another show, Bernie Mac show. I was on the Bernie Mac show. In fact, I have some footage of me shooting at that. I had that little mini camera I had mentioned before, that little video camera, and I had shot it. Now, I don't know if I can pull the video off of that and add it. If I do, here it is now.
I enjoyed spelling milieu for you very much.
Ain't nobody asked you that. It's the choice. Come on now, boy. Keep it together. Be the word.
Come on now. Be the man. Be the word, baby. Come on. Charlie. The word is booger.
I'm sorry, son. I almost thought you said the word.
Booger. B-O-O-G-E-R. Booger.
Anyway, so I was also on 2.5 Men. It was the first season of 2.5 Men. Snootful something or other. I think it was like the 8th episode, and I played a dad. So I was in the beginning of the episode at the kids' school and whatnot, and then later we were seated as parents, and I had a video camera, same type of thing, had a video camera, and I was videotaping Charlie Sheen as he was playing the piano. I would love to have kept that footage. That wasn't my camera, but that was really cool because that was his first season in the show. It was a cool episode to shoot. The kids, they were singing about beer and women and whatnot, and the shot is of me holding the camera, and then I'm kind of like this. You've got to be kidding me. These kids are singing about this? Anyway, between takes, when we had time, we were at craft service, whatever, Charlie Sheen had walked up. And when they had filmed this was during the playoffs when the Yankees were playing the A's, my Oakland A's. And I just assumed, because he was in the movie Major League, which I absolutely loved, I assumed he was a Yankees, or I assumed he was an Indians fan, right? He's in the movie, he's in it. No, he's a New York Yankees fan. So there was small talk about baseball and whatnot, and I said, oh, please don't tell me you're rooting for the Yankees. And he pulls up his sleeve, and he's got a Yankees tattoo, big old NY. And I go, are you kidding me? You're a Yankees fan? He goes, yeah, what's wrong with that? And I go, come on, man. I go, that's not fair. You guys always beat us. I go, I want my Oakland A's to win. That was the small conversation I had with Charlie Sheen. He's got a New York Yankees tattoo. He's actually a really cool guy. And to be honest, anybody that I've ever met on any of these shows, they were all really nice people, really chatty. They didn't look upon us like, oh, he's just an extra. We were background actors. We were people that were working with them to make the show good. I really enjoyed doing that. You didn't get paid an awful lot, but it was cool to commiserate with actors, people you had seen before in movies or on TV. I'm like, I really enjoy this. Granted, as time went by, you're not making that much. You're like, I don't want to do this anymore. And that's that. That's my story for background work. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to have something cool next time. I do have a background story, and it does involve Leonardo DiCaprio, but I'm saving that one. That one's like the good one, okay? Not that any of these were not good, but that's a really good one. So thanks for checking out the channel. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.